Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know that the tribe is loading in here, and I'm excited about this show because I don't get to see this beautiful soul often. I haven't seen her in person, but she's so connected to me. I know that when things are going on in the world, that she is one person that I can talk to about the cosmic. I can talk to about the metaphysical. We can talk about the personal. She's an OG in this thing called women's work. Not only women's work, but in just transformation of ourselves from the inside out. And we're going to be talking today about Orgone Energy. You may have known her and seen her around, but I'm going to bring on my sister, my friend, the beautiful queen, Mare Torres. Welcome to the stage, honey.
Hola,
Oh,
hola,
la. Tell the
here.
people who you are and IMEG 13. Did I get it right?
I am SEG 13,
Okay, talk to us. Tell us what that is.
Infinionaire Minister, Sacral Energy Goddess 13. That's who I am. Let me get a sip of water. Um, I am an Orgone alchemist. I am a minister of self healing. I help people remember who they are through the work that I do with Orgone technology like this. So
Yes.
this is Orgone technology. The information of this was gifted to me by our ancestors. They taught me exactly what to do and how to do it and why to do it. And for the last 13 years of my life, I have been practicing self healing and self mastery through learning my energetic system, the chakra system, and managing it and healing it myself through the energy that I connect to with my ancestors and spirit guides and all of the things that have been made possible through the work that I do with nature. So that's who I am in short.
Well, I want you to tell the people how, just, a little bit more about, I want to make your picture bigger. It's coming in so small. Um,
I wonder if it's because I'm side. Do I need to
no,
turn the camera?
mm, oh, well, look, that did work. That worked. Look
Okay,
at
okay,
that.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, here we
Yes.
go. Oh, that makes it easier. I just gotta go a little back. There we go.
So we know you're Mari Torres, but tell us a little bit about your background. And first of all, um, we got to talk about it all before we get to the organ,
Okay,
which is
thank you.
important. I want them to know who's doing it, because the person who's putting together something that's so powerful has to be so powerful herself. And girl, you look amazing. I hadn't
Thank
seen you.
you.
You look
Thank you.
amazing.
I have been on a journey, Dr. Reverend, since the last time that we spoke. It has been intense. Okay, so a little bit about myself, my background. Originally, I come from the entertainment industry, and I come from the industry of records, radio, television, and film. I did it all in that industry, and I was in that industry so that I could learn. Um, uh, let's see, something that you might recognize that I've done. If you are familiar with the group NWA on the album 100 Miles and Running, which was, they were my label mates. And so I was on that, my sisters and I were on that record as the Jones Girls, and we sang this little clip, Don't Drink That Wine, on that album. So um, if you if you know that, that's something that you can remember. I worked in all kinds of films. My first film was Training Day with Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke. I worked in radio with Steve Harvey and, you know, people in that industry and in that world. And I worked for, well, I didn't work for them when I was doing my independent work in radio when Blog Talk Radio was around. I was asked to come in with my with my former partner to come in and work for the Democratic campaign, which, I tapped into that world, and that was in 2010. And when I tapped into that world was when I knew that I needed to tap out completely. And so there was one thing, I don't want to get super into it, but I just want to tell you my moment. My partner and I, this was a campaign that was being done with uh, Bill Duke, Will I Am, Tiana Taylor, Sheila E. A lot of different people, a lot of different celebrities were part of that. But in this particular meeting that we went to a meeting, and those people that I just mentioned were not in this particular meeting. I just want to clear that up. But in this particular meeting that we attended, we were told that the people had to be manipulated for their own good. And this was the first time that I heard something like that. And my partner at the time, we looked at each other, and it was like, okay, we didn't even have to say a word. We knew what we had to do, and we took an exit. We took an exit from the system completely, and we started digging deep into our roots. And that's how the Orgone Energy came about, because my partner wanted to protect the family from, I mean, when you go into the rabbit hole of what politics and entertainment and all of that, those things are, and once you've experienced it because you've lived it, it doesn't take much. Once you see the truth, it's like you go there, and once you go there, you start uncovering a lot of other truths. And one of the truths that were uncovered was the truths of orgone technology. And so my partner wanted to get that to protect the family and to protect us from different species that are walking around the planet, things and different programs that we wanted to deprogram from. And so when I first experienced this orgone technology, it was something that I felt before I even felt it in my hands, before I knew that it was coming, and then when it arrived and I felt it, something inside of me woke up, and it was just like, you have to do this. This is you, this is your world. You have to create them. And so I listened, and that's when my journey of self-awakening started. And it was, like, I'm talking about the entertainment industry, but that's just what my vibrational frequency brought me to in my life so that I could wake up to who I am. And so in 2013, 2011, actually, when I started digging into myself deeper, started going into this work, my name, okay, so SCG 13 actually started as Sex Energy Goddess 13. And it was
Yes, that's
something,
where I met her.
yes. And Sex Energy Goddess 13 was a name that I carried through my partnership. And it was something that kind of bothered me at first, because it was something that you do it in private, right? But now I'm coming into the world as Sex Goddess 13. What does that even mean? Ooh, what does that mean was that I had to wake up to the truth of who I am, the truth of my divinity, of my divine feminine, the truth of why I suffered any kind of abuse in my life, right? I had to get to the bottom of what that was. And it was through the orgone technology. Hola, hola, little animal.
This is your niche. This is your niche Trinity.
Hi, Trinity. Hey, Mama.
So she
Nice
had
to
to have
see
a goddess
you.
name. I have a cat named Neo and Echo.
Uh-huh.
So a kid who is Neo without Trinity.
Ache, ache. Oh,
I'm
welcome,
sorry.
welcome, Trinity. So when I started working with the orgone, that's when I really was able to dig deep into who I am. For a long time, I wanted to cover my essay abuse. I don't know if we can say what can we say and what can we not say here, but my essay abuse, I had to I thought that I dealt with it, as an adult. When you turn into adulthood and you deal with those difficult things, you feel like, okay, I faced it, so I'm good now. But
That's
when
right.
it's time, this time where I'm now calling myself this sex energy goddess, and I'm calling to who is that, then all the truth of who that is had to come out. And this technology assisted me so that I can go into that darkness without falling apart. And so when that happened, I had a whole separation from my relationship that had to happen, because you can't learn who you are for real if you're not with yourself. And I had to be with myself. And I had to be with the feelings of, okay, so when this sex energy comes up and I'm feeling like, I need to do something, what am I going to do with it? Because I wasn't trained, right? In my life, in my former life, what I would do with it, I had a partner, I'd go have sex. But what I had to learn was that this sexual energy that exists inside of me is far more than physical. And so I had to go into meditation. I had to go into the rage. I had to go into the crying and the tears and the confusion of all of these things that were happening, and that I wasn't really sure. However, when you take the first step, everything starts coming so that you can get what you need. Your food, I was eating, man, I was eating every single day what I needed so that I can get through the process of finding me. And so I had to uncover why I had to go through all of the things that I went through. And one of the things that I had to uncover deeply was why I was in the entertainment industry. Why was I in that world? Why was I called in that world for so long and like spit out, right? And so that's what it was like. Oh, you would never be able to be in that world because of what you came here to do. And this is where I minister, Reverend Dr. Latanya, and I were connected, because she too was in that world, but she was in that world, you know, in it while I was already stepped out, and I was getting this, awareness of myself. So I was always, girl, I was always sending you energy. I was like, ooh, she in the trenches. She in the trenches. Ooh, let's send that vibration over there. Send that over there. But we always knew, when you know there's a reason for everything, and there's a reason why you have had the honor to be around. Because let me tell you, the entertainment industry is full of the geniuses,
Yes.
right? The people, and they get them when they're raw. And what happens is this: once they get you and you're raw, and you're not really aware of what's going on, you're easy to manipulate. When I was 16 years old, I signed a contract, and Priority Records, I Jada Priority Records. I signed 100% of my publishing away. We wrote everything in our music. We released it in Latin America, in America. You don't know who we are because we didn't it was a rap label that didn't know what to do with the music singing group. And what they were ultimately wanting to do is separate me from the group, which I denied the contract when I was 17 at the time. And so they wanted, my sisters and I were part of the group called Tres. And so they wanted to separate me from my sisters, because see, spirit knows before you know in the physical. All of this stuff in the metaphysical is already being done. We're already being worked on. So they pulled me into the office, and they asked me, they said, you are the star. You are the gem. The others are the gems. You are the diamond. So we want to offer you a deal of just you so that you can be the star. And I was like, no, thank you. It's like, I just knew enough to know that that wasn't a good deal. And I knew that I needed my protection, and my sisters were my protection. And so I knew enough of that world that when I got the solution, which were these devices, when I got the solution to start creating them, it started working in me. And it wasn't a thing where I was creating pieces because I needed to make a living. It was, I created the pieces for my healing, but in the midst of my healing, I began to lose everything. I lost everything, everything. Matter of fact, I did a money ritual. And that money ritual, I was burning money. I was saying, this has no power over me. I am the money. I'm an infinite, an infinite being. I am the money, right? And so when you say that, and when you have power and you are claiming who you are, guess what happens? The universe is going to be a response. Yeah, they're going to respond. And it's going to be like, yes, that's who you are. Is that who you are? And you are going to have to really learn what being an infinite being is about. And so everything was taken away. The was taken away. The home that I was living, everything was taken. And so what I did have was orgone devices that I was creating to promote the online. I had, it was called That's My Word radio show. I was promoting that VIM, Visions Emotions Radio is what I was promoting. So started creating pieces that had the label, the logo on it, giving them away. Well, when we lost everything, there was a phone call that came of somebody that wanted more of what we were just giving away. And so, of course, they offered to pay. And of course, that was an epiphanical moment. I know that's not really a word, but I'm going to call it that. It was an epiphanical moment where I had this epiphany of, look at what these little hands, these little tiny hands made something that is valuable to not just me, is valuable to somebody else. And that's when I recognized the power that I had to create and monetize this energy, liquidate the infinite assets that I have in me with just my hands and my mind, nothing that no corporation gave me, nothing that no somebody told me I could do, nothing that somebody in the physical allowed me. Well, I will say the person that made that call and said, I'm willing to exchange what you need for what I need. That's when that just woke me up to a whole new world. And I started creating like it was nobody's business. And it was what secured, my family and I for a long time. And let me just tell you, because this is the important part. I can tell you a story and I could be like, oh yes. And I started selling so many of these that it didn't work out like that. This gave me that opening so that I knew that there was something in me that I could really hone into. So what that did was that made me start going deeper in myself. And when you go deeper in yourself, that's when you wake up the devil. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
oh my God.
That's when all of the memories and who are you, that's when the sacral chakra starts operating really tough, and it's like these ideas of yourself that you thought that you were, these things that you believe. Am I a hoe? Am I a hoe? Am I a slut? Am I this bitch? And then here's the beautiful part is that I am the hoe. I am the slut. I am that bitch. I am all of it. I am everything. I am all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And in that awareness of being all of it, then I had to learn what balance was and what that meant. And I had to learn that it was okay for me to express myself. It was okay for me to cry. It was okay for me to be mad. It was okay for me to have all of these emotions that I have. Because guess what? I have the power to contain it all. I have the power to balance it all. I have the power to shoot that energy to wherever I wanted it to go. And I started getting the recognition that everything that I created in my reality was what was inside of me. All of the dysfunction, all of the toxicity, all of the bad ideas, good ideas, everything. It was what I created. I did that. I did that. And when I started recognizing that I did that, I started taking accountability for all of it. And then I started realizing that the pieces that I was working with, I was getting stones and different things that were coming into my experience that was leading me to other things. And this is what I wanted to really point out, that it wasn't a story. It's not a story of, oh, I made Orgone Energy batteries and all of a sudden I got all this wealth. No, I made the Orgone Energy batteries. The Orgone Energy batteries continue to awaken things in me. Yes, I was selling pieces, but guess what? Guess what Spirit said?
What did what Spirit say?
Spirit said, you can't just sell them. You can't just sell those pieces to anybody. They have to know what it is. They have to know the root. They have
That
to know the history, and they have to be ready to face their shadow. Because the people that don't know, they end up throwing it away because they think they're possessed. They think that some voodoo witch, whatever. I'm all of it. Remember that, okay? Made that, and so now is bringing out of them everything that needs to come out so that they can heal it. Not no doctor, not no this, not no that, but you yourself, because I am the example of the work that I do. And so that's why self healing is in order. The people that come around us, the counselors, the consultants, are confirmers of what we get from within. But this work, you can't fake the funk. You got to do it. If you don't do it, you're not going to get the results that you think that you want. And I'm saying that you think that you want because people that truly know the result of what they want, you got to go through the mud. You know that you can't just get it like that. I mean, you can, depending on how you consider time, right? but you have to, the process is something that must happen. And so the process started happening in me, and I started realizing that everything that I needed, because I was like, oh, I'm in my creative process. So every time that I felt the urge of having a penis inside me, ooh, could I say that? Then I knew that that wasn't available at the time. So it's
Okay.
like, well, what do I do with that energy? Because we already know that that sexual energy is so powerful. It causes us to do shit that then afterwards we're like, oh, what? What I do? So at this point, I had to be accountable and responsible for this energy that was flowing in my body. And so I started answering it by dancing, moving around, moving that energy around so that it can get out of down there and come up a little bit, right? And then it would come up and then it would start hitting me. It would start hitting me and I'd start getting this information and I'd start getting ideas and I'd start getting like these little symbols. Like I got that symbol. That was Oshun. She was talking to me all the time.
Oh,
My
yes.
ancestors, the voices
Mhm.
of the ancestors in here. This tree right here that came to me when I was at Michael's. I was like, look at that tree, pick that up, put that in there.
Oh,
You
my
know what I'm saying?
goodness.
And this is how. Oh, there's the tree. The tree is right there. And so this is how this energy would speak to me, and I would just start going, and then I would start looking at the metaphysical healing properties of everything that I would put inside, and I would get to studying. I would get to studying. Symbology is something that's in my DNA. So then I just happened to have a book, right, that my sister bought or I got from somewhere for like maybe $1. The secrets of signs and symbols that I got before I was even consciously interested in looking at it. And it had all the
Talk
information.
your ish, girl. Come on.
It
Keep
had all the
going.
information that I needed. And so what happens is the metaphysical healing property of each stone. These are little beings. Did you know that? These are little beings. Crystals are beings like your plants and like your flowers. So when you put it inside of a device like this that has the frequency of metals, it has the frequencies of crystals, it has the frequency of the sun, and it has the frequency of you, the creator of such divine tools. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you start working with them in that way, what was happening in my experience, they were working directly and specifically for me and for my energy. And so when I started working with people with it, I started letting them know what it was about. I didn't have to say much because they felt it. And so I started doing consultations where I would talk to them about this energy, and whatever needed to happen in that conversation to happen would happen. And then I would magically know exactly what I needed to create for them so that it could be specific for them. And so then I started doing that.
Take a breath. Take a breath. All right. Take a breath. Of course, she does this, y'all. So now we know who she is and how she got there, everybody. So, how many of you have heard of Organite? How many of you have heard of Organite that's watching in the comments? And I do want you to like, share this out because the topic of this today is why didn't anybody tell us about Orgone Energy? And so how many of you have heard of Organite? She's told you who she is. She's told you how she got to be. Okay, good, Bessie. You've heard of it. Wonderful. She's told you who she is. She told you how she got here. She's told you how she uses it. Now, of course, I hope you're listening to find out how you can use it. So now we need to talk about what is Organite so that everyone who's listening can understand how what it is that we're talking about and how they may be able to use it. But we'll get to the how in a moment. What is Organite?
Orgonite is a scalar device that moves faster than the speed of light. When you use crystals, metals, and resin, the resin squeezes the energy out of the crystal and the metals and creates the scalar wave. This scalar wave protects you from electromagnetic frequencies, things that you cannot see. This is the technology that the Egyptians used when they were mummifying bodies. They weren't necessarily in this form. They used the same technology in a different form to mummify the bodies. People thought, scientists thought, that they were using it just to preserve the vessel, but they were using it to preserve the journey of the soul. They recognized reincarnation. They knew what time it was when they were traveling that journey of the soul when it's not in the flesh. And so everything that they studied, everything that they did is in these materials. It's in the crystals, it's in the stones, it's in the dirt, it's in the ocean. It's this orgone technology is a technology that in this way I've turned it into a device, I've turned it into a tool. However, this is ache, this is prana, this is life force. What is inside of this is inside of me, it is inside of you. This is my reflection of this energy. When somebody sings a song, that is their ache, that is their orgone energy. That technology of music is going to reflect back into you. This technology, the reason why it's coming out now is because our ancestors know how important it is for you to have it and for you to know the formula of it so that you can create it yourself. I have not taught anybody how to create this. In 2026, I will be teaching. I'm working on writing the book, a simple book that gives you the basics, because this is about you connecting to yourself and learning how to do it just like I learned how to do it. I didn't go to school. I didn't, well, the school that I went to was my internal school with my ancestors in spirit. That I looked at a video that said, this is the formula, layers of inorganic and organic materials. I was like, all right, thank you. And then I went to work. And when I started working on it, it was like a takeover. I was just in a zone. They were speaking to me and I knew
This
what to do. And
this is
so
this is
they gave me a
powerful.
lot of information.
This
Actually.
this is powerful because I didn't know so many people don't know about Organite. I am shocked for just the few people that are here that they didn't raise their hand and only one people out of our tribe knows about it. And I've been trying to get you connected into the tribe for so long, but I will say that she doesn't know this, but I know she'll do it, is for those of you who are in the private shamanic circle and training, I am her. You will get a chance to do some work with Mari. We're going to bring Mari in so that you can do some work with her. So I hope that she will do a test run with the women who have chosen to become the priestess of their own household and use this for their sacred work. They're going through a process of doing some advanced blueprinting to let spirit show them exactly what's already in them and what
Mm.
their sacred work is. And so we're linking those specifics up, and so they'll be able to build a device. Now, some people, I just referred to it as a device, and I know some people call it a battery. Why do some people call this a battery, Maury?
Well, my specific ones are batteries because I that's my proprietary name for it. I trademarked that name. And so for me, the people that call it Orgone Energy batteries, that's how I know they know me and they know my work. It's not something that I did so that, oh, I don't want nobody to, the whole key of an Orgone Energy battery is that the key is the soul creator. Right? What makes it really work is the individual that created it. And what makes it the battery is the fact that it's an energizer. And that's what it is. That's what it does. The ones that you see on I think Etsy probably has some. I used to have some stuff on Etsy way back in the day, and they warned me not to put any orgonite, any orgone technology on the site. And
Why?
that was
Why? Say why? Because I want people to really understand the power of this energy. I know we are, I want you to understand that just by answering, people don't know what this is. So you and I start all the way up here, but
okay.
I want you to break it down a little bit more. When you say they didn't want you to put it on the site, for people to understand, why didn't anybody tell us about Organite? We have to answer that question in understanding that when we come in and have these conversations, y'all, I bring you all real shamanic uh, faith walkers, disruptors, uh, people who are on their divine assignment and have paid the price for it. And many of you who come in, if I was talking about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B's breakdown right now, there would be more people on the live. If I was going in on them and whether they have an IEP or was in special ed or barely graduated high school, and now they got the nerve to be cussing each other out in Jesus's name. If I was talking about that, then the low vibrational energy, the algorithm would put more people here. So the fact that you are in this room, it means that you too have an assignment. You have an awareness. This is falling into your lap today. Yesterday was, or last night, 12:01 a.m. was a government shutdown. And there are people who are grieving, but not you, not this tribe. There are people who are saying, what am I going to do? Not, and this tribe knows that I have solutions. I have a way. I have tools. And so this is a tool. So Mari, why didn't anybody tell us about Organite and didn't want you to put it on Etsy?
Because the dangers of this technology is that it wakes you up to who you are. It takes the, what is it, the rose colored glasses off. Those come off. I want to tell you something that is really powerful. This is somebody that you do know. Okay. You know Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in 2013, Jaden Smith had an organization called the Orgonite Society. He was making videos. He was talking to people what this Orgonite is and how powerful it was. You know what his daddy did? Hmm. Well, and maybe it wasn't directly his daddy, but the people that run stuff, right? They
Mm-hmm.
said, you're not going to talk about that anymore. You're not going, it's disappearing. I think if you try to find something out now, I don't know if you'll find anything, but this is what it was. So they took that away from him and they gave him the water company. All of a sudden you saw him and you see him, and if you notice when you see him holding up that water container, look at his face, because he knows what he had to sacrifice in order to do that water thing. They don't want people to know about this. The story of the creator, Wilhelm Reich, that originally started, bringing it into this century, I think it was like in the 1940s. So he was healing all kinds of people. He didn't have it in this form. He had an accumulator box because there's different ways that you can use this technology. So he had an accumulator box and people were going into that box. They were healing of all kinds of depression, melancholy, all kinds of different disease. And so he took his information to the FDA.
Oh my God.
I'll have to tell y'all what happened then, but I'll keep it short. He, locked him up, took all his stuff away. He had a son, and his partner. He had a partner. His partner was taken out also, and he had a son. And he told his son, "They're not going to let me out of here," because they were trying. The court was trying to get somebody to come in and say that what he was doing did not work, right? They could not find anybody that would come in and testify. So they took care of it. And his son, I think what happened after that was his son was able to save some of the things. But you already know how it is. When something is supposed to happen, it's going to happen. So the information was hidden for a long time, but it started coming back out in the 70s, late
Okay.
70s, and it was who discovered it? Who started redefining it? Africa. Africa started using this technology, and there's a company, and I believe they're still around, called Organize Africa. And Organize Africa started using this technology so that they can clear drought from places that were in drought. They would make them, they would put them in the ground, and they would do their rituals when they had what they had to do, and they would bring life back to grounds that were in complete drought. So the reason why, and you will never see this, like this has been around for a long time. You will not see it on TV. You will not see it in a movie. As much as they be talking about new technology and stuff in movies, I have never seen an orgone device on film, on television, or anything like that at all.
Now,
So
what's so interesting is that I know how powerful it is because I know that there are other people who have gotten who almost had to like pull their information down because they were talking about this, or because they were able to have the organized sitting, and it would redirect energy in the sky, the organite energy. And there are several people who've commented so far that they have received it but didn't know what it was. Michelle says that, peace and blessing, my friend gave me 3 of those, and I don't know all that. So there are people who possibly have it and they're wearing it and they don't know the power of what they have. I've made my own little. I have some little pieces I didn't show you yet, but these are some, and
ah,
I used all of the elements that you're talking about.
yeah.
When I wanted sensual energy, I
Hmm.
made this piece that has some of the crystals that pull on, and I can't even remember all of them right now. But this is one of my pieces that I keep on my desk, and then I made 3 other small discs. That I keep either in my window or near my bed because I'm always on the phone. And so I keep my organite near me. So sometimes, y'all, we need things that are working for us even when we don't have to think about it.
That's right.
So when you are doing affirmations, when you're on shift talk, when you are on the 7 a.m. prayer call with me, when you are tapping in, doing processes and that type of thing, you wear this energy to amplify you, to clear you, to clean you, to lift the energy of grief off of you, to lift the confusion off of you. Those of you who are in lack, Mari does pieces where she has money on the inside of the pieces, honey. So what are you trying to call forth? She will do it. Wait a minute, I'm not done. And then when you get something from Mari, look, because listen, we haven't even gotten into her current reality in terms of being a living, breathing ministry where she's not out here marketing, trying to sell. She's just coming back. I didn't even know this. So you couldn't even get her pieces anymore after a certain piece. So, but I was blessed because she gave me, this is how mine arrived. This is how my box arrived, honey. Nobody's gonna ever. I'm gonna keep this box. Then she put a message in here. I don't know if she does this for everybody, but she put a message in here. Then, and I only wear this knowing what I want to pull in. So this is a piece from Mari, y'all. I wish that we could get a little closer and you could see this. Those of you who are in the portal, I'm going to post a better picture for those. I'm trying to come slow so you can see my piece, and all on the back even is fortified. That's not the only piece. When I was in my butterfly phase, she sent me this. Now I'm in my owl phase right now.
You're in your owl phase.
I'm in my owl phase right now. Yeah.
I got something to show you, Mama.
Uh-oh. Come on with it now. Do you see that copper and all these crystals on the inside? So when my energy is low, or when I need spiritual protection, when I'm going into places with a lot of mixed energy, I wear these pieces very intentionally. And so look, you even have, I don't even know, this is a God moment. I just saw this. On the back of this particular piece you did for me
Uh huh.
is the infinity symbol,
That's
8. But you know what else it is? It's also batala.
Ache o batala. Ache. I love it when those things happen and you don't. I didn't do that on purpose. Pero mira.
Oh, okay, Linda. Oh my goodness. What now, I want everything. I want it all.
And I
Oh
want
my.
to. This is one that I just finished. Well, actually, I just connected with the owner of it, and this is going to a goddess. This glows in the dark. This is one of the first pieces that I made for the Eye of Horus. Oh, where's my camera? Okay, there it goes. And it's all copper. And so I wanted to create pieces that people, that you could wear them so that it's not, you know, something simple. I started making even smaller pieces, and then the challenge became to make them small but still powerful. So I'm definitely going to be writing in my book how I do that.
I sh-
Um, and there's something that I have to show you, because it's that this is just a confirmation to this connection and how everything is just right on time. Because you were talking about me putting money in the pieces that I do, and one of the pieces that I had sitting now.
look at how heavy she had to pick that up. Look at that.
Yeah, this is a two-person job right here. And
This
so
woman right here. Oh my God.
there's money inside.
Oh
And
my goodness.
the reason why the money is inside is because well, I'm going to speak for myself. I had it really deep with poverty conscious mentality because of, my background, how I grew up, and even being around like celebrities and their money, which, by the way, you think that celebrities got a lot of money. It's all, no, no, it's all looks. Not all of them do. Okay. But I needed to work on that. And I knew that it was about how I felt about myself. And so they told me to create pieces with money in it so that I could trick my mind into knowing that I have it all the time. It's always with me. I always got it. It's not. And so what that did was it started expanding that for me. Like every person that started using this kind of technique, they get it at least one time. You're going to get a load of money, something is going to happen. But it's not about the piece, it is about you and the vibrational frequency that you create when having it that attracts it all. So that was another reason why Spirit didn't want me to just sell these to people just because people get the wrong impression, and so they think, oh, money, it has money in it, so this means this. It's like you got to get to the science of what it is so that it works for you more than once. And that's what happened with a lot of people. They get it and they believe it the first time, and then it's like they move out of their way because they think it was the thing and they don't realize that it's them. You're the one that creates everything for yourself. And so the money thing was important just because that's the currency that is used on this, in this area right now. So I had to do that. But ultimately, it's the recognition of me being the money, me being the currency. And I do want to share a story of how okay, so when the ancestors, when I was getting paid in 2017, Orgone Energy with batteries was putting some, making the pockets fat, right? And so then Spirit comes and says, stop. And I was like, what you mean stop? This is like, this is working now. Like, but I was busy all the time. And this is also, Dr. Latanya, when I stopped painting the boxes, because I was painting boxes. It was part of my therapy. So I was doing that, right? And so when they said stop, I was like, this is when you have to recognize, am I talking to something benevolent or malevolent? You know what I'm
Come on
saying?
now. Come
Is
on.
this something that's telling me to do something for my benefit, or they about to do something crazy? Okay. So I was like, all right, Most High, Obatala was very much fathering me. I'm very strong at that time. So I said, if this is for my highest good, this was in February of 2017, shortest month of the year, right? So I said, if this is divine source asking me to do this in 2017, I need 10 grand for an investment. I need 10 grand. If I can make, and 10 grand was a number that I hadn't made 10 grand in a month before. So I knew that if that happened, I already knew what the deal was. Okay. And so, ache. Not only did I make 10 grand, and it wasn't just me, we made $13,000. So what did we do? That $13,000 was made. Oh, we're in Northern California. We went to Southern California to go visit Mama, right? The ocean,
Ashe.
right? And so we went out there, gave our thanks, gave our gratitude. I always put Orgone in the ocean, always, always. And so by the time we got back, we spent a week out there giving thanks, giving Ache. By the time we got back, there was a check for $150,000 that we had no idea that it was going to be coming. It was something that was deserved of the family, but we had like it, one of those things that you forget about it because you're like, whatever. And that's what happened, and that was exactly our calling to continue the mission and continue to move forward doing this work. And I got led to trust, doing private trust. And then I learned that you got to have at least 30, 40 grand to complete something like that. And then I found out a lot of different things in that. There's devils and demons and everything, right? And so you got to know when to listen. And when spirit says stop, and by that time, I already knew because, once we got this money, it was like, okay, now we could put this in order and get these things done and get that things done. And it wasn't about that. And that's what happens a lot when we get notification or we get a blessing, then we panic. And right, this is now time to be still, be grateful, right? And listen to what you have to do next without any rush, without any, being scared. And so that's what we did. And we started investing in other things. And that's how we started moving. In that path, then I learned of another way to protect myself because Orgone Energy batteries, I just got off of a restriction on TikTok because I'm showing stuff, right? And they don't say why I got restricted. They don't say, they said that I was against their policies. It's like I had an account on Instagram for 8 years. All I did was show Orgone Energy batteries. I didn't talk about it. I didn't go live. They took that down and they said it was against their policies. I don't ask questions, but that's why this is a confirmation for me to know this is why I'm private, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why I know I don't have a website where you can get my stuff off of. If you're getting Orgone Energy batteries, you're getting it from me, or it's not an Orgone Energy battery.
Well,
And when you get it
so
from
I
me,
want
you're
so
getting it with the awareness of what it is.
some people might know you in the community from the She Has Risen revival, private revival that we did. And you see how powerful she is. And how many of you were on the She Has Risen? I believe it was during Easter that we did it a couple of years ago. And so, with that being said, if you were there, let me know if you were there and you remember Mama Mari, okay? Because this brings us to the 13 energy. The 13 God is energy. And so you and your beloved have been so consistent with this 13 number, the 13 astrology, the 13 like, let's talk about, we cannot come together and not talk about Big Mama and how she has guided you in terms of the dark feminine energy, the mother energy, the sacred code of 13. Can you talk about that?
Ooh, the sacred code of 13. I started discovering that number 13 in 2013. And when I went into it, I started realizing, oh, Madi, that letter M, that's the number 13 letter. And then I started recognizing, oh, the Jesus and his disciples, that was 13. Oh, that's power. Oh, the powers that were corporate systems, they want to hide it from people by not having the 13th floor, acting like the 13th floor still exists. Duh. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But so all of these things, all of the Friday the 13th movies, all of these things that made you so scared of it made me want to know more. And I was like, and then I started getting information on the divine feminine and the number 13, and I started using it. I started using it with everything. Mighty 13, Infinity 13, Master Vibration 13, 13, 13, 13. I love you 13. I started it's an amplifying number. And so when you use it, you give power to everything that comes before it, just like the Ache. So that's why I like to use Ache 13. And so that the calling of the divine feminine is something that is so powerful that it doesn't care about what's happening in your life. Like, it doesn't care if you have a family and children and stuff that dependent on you, and you know what I'm saying. It's like you get called and you get pulled to work on yourself in a way that you have no choice but to surrender to it. And I say that because you talk about my connection and the work that I've done with my partner. The work has been, my partner and I have been at it for 34 years. And it's so strong, this connection to be who we are, that we recognize that to be who we are does not mean we have to be with each other, you know. And that was for me a huge when you believe that you're in partnership with someone for the rest of your days, and life shows you no, everything is a season and cycles and things that you have to learn and things that you have to grow from. It's not like your, white picket fence and the ideas that society says husband and wife, and it has to look like this and it has to be this way. What I learned through my partnership is true love. And there is no deeper love than the love that you have for yourself. And when you're able to express that love for yourself, then you're able to have so many around you and so much love around you, because it comes in its true form.
Well,
And
let me
in this
ask.
love, I
Let me,
discovered that I don't belong to anybody. I am not, no one has ownership over me. When I came by myself. When I leave, it's just going to be me. So I have to be able to regulate that, and I have to be able to be good with that completely. Will I be in partnership again? Absolutely. This is why I am consciously doing the work now, because I am a partner. That is what I came here for.
and because he's my brother, I can honestly say, without you having to give that, I didn't expect you to go into your personal business like that. But in many ways, he still is partner, because you all are infiniaires, and
Okay.
so you all are partners because you're
Yes.
friends, and there are
Yes.
sacred divorces.
Yes.
Sacred divorces don't end
Yes.
in drama. People
No.
don't. So that's why I wasn't telling the people all your business. But hey, if you felt like dropping all of that, that's fine. To shout out to Brother Solution,
Ate.
and
Always big love to him.
shout out to him, because he's our brother. He's
Yes.
family, and he
Yes.
will always be your family. So moving on
Absolutely.
from that, because 13 is a very mature study.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to the women about that, because many people fear that energy, because we study, I do birth chart readings.
Mm-hmm.
I teach a lot about archetypes, but a lot of people leave out the energy of the dark mother, the dark goddess. And I know that the 13 energy is, in terms of it, 13 astrology, is that 13 astrology, you don't get to the 13th. This is what I learned. Tell me if I'm
Mm-hmm.
wrong. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get to the 13th power until you've done the work of the 12. Because if you're
Absolutely.
not ready, if you have not done the work of the 12, if you have not worked through all of those energies, you can't handle it, because she comes with a bit of a death energy. There's a part of you that must die in order to be reborn before you get to the 13 energy. Now, I want you to connect the dot to the organon, and how, to the organ, and how women can begin to use this to manifest and to shift. And because we're in the middle of a shift challenge,
Yes.
well, we're at the end of a 7-day shift challenge. Can you talk a little? I know that was a mouthful, but you can
Mm-hmm.
handle
Yes, yes. And I first want to go back and thank you so much for respecting me and my relationship and all of that.
it.
And the reason why I brought that up is because it's part of the 13. Is because
Ashe.
it's because knowing, it's like, yes, that man, I honor him and love him absolutely forever. Okay. But I come first always. And people that love me respect the path that I'm on. And so that's important, because we can't be afraid of separation when it is in order for us to be separated. I'm not saying, oh, you got to separate from your significant other, because a lot of this work was done with us together. It's levels, and there's ways, and you don't have to divorce or anything like that in order for you to do your work for yourself. This is my experience, and this is why I'm sharing it. And I just think that it's so important, because for so many years, me myself, I thought that the relationship was making me. This is what happens when we come into relationship, not just with a significant other, but with other people. When we have children and then we get so connected with them, well, they're not here, I'm not a mom. You're a mom forever. Even if they don't come out of your womb, you're a mom.
I
But
should.
this orgone technology is what has brought me to a space. Hold on, because I'm hearing noise. It's making me crazy. It's what brought me into a space where I'm able to recognize all of the things and be in love. The orgone, it is creativity. It is ache, it is sacral sexual energy, it is organic to the divine feminine. It is us. And that's why it is so powerful when we create it. That's why it is so powerful when we utilize it. And you can utilize it. Look, you see this right here? Your intention right here for now: abundance, prosperity, elevation, health, and wealth. This is working through you right now.
I
Not
should.
because this is the crystal. What I'm doing, I'm giving it the fuel, and I'm giving it that intention of where I want it to go. And it is up to you to receive it,
I
right?
should. I should.
And so this technology, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for the work that I've done in nature with the crystals. And it's not just the crystals, it is not just the orgone. The orgone has led me to other things, to other people, to other places. The orgone led me to Washington last year to be with my brethren, what is it? The Saskatchewan, the Sasquatch, the Sasquatch
Yes,
people.
Sasquatch.
Yeah. So the Sasquatch in Britain, I chat to the Sasquatch in Britain and allowing me to be in their space without bothering me. They bothered some other people. They didn't bother me. Um, so I've had the liberty and the freedom to continue my path, and I got to give credit to where credit is due. There are thousands of pieces in this space. I know you probably can't see it that well, but in the windowsill over there, there's orgone. Over there, there's orgone pyramids. Right here in this little baby chair, that was a handmade baby chair, because the power of the handmade things are forever. And this was made by somebody. I got it at a shop. And I put Orgone energy batteries on there because that's my baby. And this painting here that I made in 2013, that's what I look like to myself. And those pieces, I can remove them from the painting and I can use them for my work. Every chair.
I got chills. That painting is, oh my God, is everything. And you mean to tell me it's living art? Oh my God, you just made the Libra rising in me so happy. Oh
So
my God, Mari.
I use it and then put them back.
Oh my goodness.
And I have another one that's like that too. And you guys, your people are the only one that are able to get this tour like this. This is definitely a sacred space. This is something else that I created, and they're removable. Functional healing art. So I started really going into, what does that mean? Functional healing art. They showed me, this goddess right here. This is the golden goddess. They showed her to me as 13 feet tall. She's 13 feet tall. She comes in whatever your hair looks like. That's what her hair looks like. You know what I'm saying? She comes in many forms. Her original form, you got one of the original golden goddesses. You got the one with the tree. And then my daughter, she created this. And this is what I chose as my symbol. She knows how much I love trees. And so she created this. We're working on getting a pyramid to come down from here so that you can come in and sit and be in this space. Coming to the layer, it's not about a formality of, oh, you have to pray this way, you got to do this in this way. It is about you. It is about what works for you. It's about what is your divine calling. So all you got to do is come over here and sit. Just have a seat. There's pyramids under the chairs there. If you feel like playing a game, you could do Twister. Go on and twist yourself up on some chocolate colors. You could play music. We have a grounding room, and in this grounding room, and of course we have a kitchen, so you could eat in the kitchen. But in this grounding room, I have to show the rug because this is from Morocco. What was important to us was the power of handmade things. There's just no, it's very powerful. Okay, so this room is not complete yet, but this is our grounding room where you can come and you can listen to music if you want to listen to music. Oh, this was my record, you guys. This is the my album.
Okay, look. So how many of you, if I were to organize a trip to go out and hang out in the lair with this beautiful goddess Mari, because I'm sharing with you one of my secret weapons, how if you want to be on that trip, let me know. If you're down, if you really you bout it, okay, we can go out there and do something so amazing together, because this is just yummy, just delicious. I didn't know Mari
Okay.
was gonna do all this, y'all.
No, she didn't know. So when people come to the layer, this is my workshop space. And so we do whatever needs to be done. And these are pieces that they can select from, except for this one. This one belongs to my son. I got to get it back to him.
Now look, all of my juicy she roses, my juicy butterflies. Those of you who have ever been in the room with me, anybody who's ever been in the room with me doing work, can you imagine what with the strongholds we would pull down and the lifting up of the same that would happen by the time I get through being the spiritual DJ? Mari singing, she already has the energy. Can you all imagine? I don't care what's going on in your life, baby. We would be shifting it. Come on, come on. How many of you look? They're like, okay, now Tamara says yes. If I told you what was required of you when you say yes, now come on now. Come on. So we got Jazz that says yes. Okay, we got Tamara that says yes. We said we got D that says yes. Come on. We don't need a whole lot of people. If we have 13, how about 13?
Yeah, I like to keep the space with small groups of people. Like if we have more than 13, we would just break it up in a
Yeah,
separate
yeah,
day
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
thing. Because
No.
everybody needs attention and everybody needs to,
Mm-hmm.
feel the essence of what this is, and get your healing, and yeah, feel seen and heard. Can I sing them a little song?
Can she sing you all a little song? They can't. We can't start until everybody says a little something. Can Mari sing you a little song? No, she's not. We're going to the West Coast. Okay, we got one yes. Give me three more yeses, because the number 13 adds up to a 4. So we're gonna play with the 4 energy. So okay, so we got a yes, please. We need 2 more yeses. You have a yes from me. One more yes. Okay, there we go. We
Oh,
good.
this is a song that they gave me so that I could remember who I am. I am creation. I am animation. I am the brightest, vibrant star in all of the constellations. I am zip, pep, pizzazz, punch, bounce, boxy, mojo, whatever you call it. I am. Ache, 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 ache. Ache, 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 ache. Ache, 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 ache. Ache, ache, ache,
Ache,
ache,
ache,
ache, ache, ache. Thank
ache.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, y'all. I love this woman so much. I
Love
love this
you
woman so
too.
much. And let me tell you about real sisters, right? Our work is so similar in terms of and our message is so similar when it comes to sensual energy and the sacredness of sensual energy and the sacred transformation that comes from sensual energy. But never, not one time, have I ever felt the energy of competition, of comparison. I've never felt any envy from a distance, not one time. And she and I can talk about things that we do not talk about to the public because we know half of our people have not done the work, have not can't even fathom it when it comes to our status, who we really are in status between the straw man and the true and living man and woman. We talk about trust, private trust. We talk about irrevocable. We talk about all of it, investments in gold and silver and other things that in terms of other forms of currency. I would love to be able to for us to have a sisterhood that can talk like this and make moves for our family, because a lot of the things that we worry about is not real. A lot of the Democratic Republican stuff is not real.
Distractions.
And we can't go higher because a lot of times we keep being distracted by the lowest vibrational conversations. And then some of you who are the black sheep, the healers, the empaths, the weirdos like Jaden. Jaden also had a whole group that he used to promote. Jaden Smith, we're talking about Will Smith's son and daughter, had a whole crew that they called the weirdos because of what they knew. And so we go and we do the work through the chakras just so you can get them clear enough to be able to handle the next level of consciousness. But this is why I don't just do juicy butterflies anymore, Mari, because I realize that butterflies are fragile and they have a very short lifeline. And the women oftentimes that I attracted, they only came to get the orgasm. They were chasing the
Mm,
orgasm. They were chasing, how do I get my vibration up so that I can get this man? Or
mm.
how can I shift my marriage and hold on to my marriage? They only came when they were in pain. As soon as they got the pain relief, the relationship between them being in community was just transactional. So I still love butterflies. But sometimes we have to grow up in our journey, in our sensual conversation. If your sensual conversation has not transferred to sovereignty, to woman sovereignty, to be able to ancestral work, to be able to elevate to your calling, to walk in your sacred assignment, you're still eating baby food. And so this is why I love the butterfly. And there are moments when I am butterfly, but I definitely, and we are graduating, we are elevating in this space. So I wanted to bring in some of the heavy hitters. And I see one of my favorite brothers in the comments who can handle all of this. This is my Shango brother, who I love with all my heart. And I mean, my husband he's married. I'm married. Like with this is totally spiritual love, y'all. So this is he's here watching, and I just want to acknowledge. He said that happens when there's sacred alignment and true sisterhood, and so when there's sacred alignment and true brotherhood, and that as well. So whenever I have the heavyweights on, it's no accident that he would be watching. So, and he's been on the show as well, but he's also your West Coast brother, so you two have to connect.
Oh, for sure. I would love
Yes.
to.
Yes, yes, he does amazing things all the time, and I'm sure partnering with that Orgone Energy in the ancestral work that he does.
Hmm.
Oh my God! So I can see a trip. I see a trip to the West Coast. West Coast in the house. Where the West? Where? Well, let me get my where the West Coast people
Check
at.
this out. When you come, let's journey over to Mount Shasta because you can't come and not go to Mount Shasta.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You see what spirit is doing in here, y'all? This is so amazing. So tell us, as we talk about Orgone Energy, I would be remiss in my duty if I did not acknowledge that there's so much happening on the planet right now. There's planetary happenings. We have a cog. Look, wait a minute. Let me go to my notes. You know that we have a comment that they're watching.
I heard about that.
Oh, where are my notes? I was just talking in my private session. There's a name for this comment. I'm trying to find it. I can't find my notes. I can't find my notes. Y'all, if you know the name of this comment, but it has a I something. I think if you all know the name of this comment, drop it in there. They're watching it. Mari, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we know that there's a lot going on planetarily, cosmically, governmentally. There's a lot going on that looks like one thing, but it's another thing that's working in our favor. There's so much happening that it's pulling on the hearts and mind. Right now, y'all, I have 4 family members that are holding on to for dear life. I got a call regarding another family member. I have had there is a sister in our comment in our community who just lost her son. I don't know if you're still here, Michelle. I want to acknowledge you. There are people in the community that where their family members are they're dropping off. Suddenlies are happening in the lives of people. Mental health is fragile because there's groupthink, people telling you how to feel. You got Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, who has the ear of our young people, calling each other's children's. All they're calling their children names. I mean, like it is an energy that is on the atmosphere that if you're not grounded, if you don't know who you are, you could easily get lost in it. Can you tell us how Organite can can serve to bust through some of this energy as well?
Because of the nature of what orgone technology is, because it moves faster than the speed of light, when you have this kind of technology, it is constantly working, transforming low vibrational energy to high vibrational energy. And sometimes that low vibrational energy is what needs to be transformed to high vibrational energy. You know, like you can't sweep it under the rug. You have to see what it is and then transform it with your knowing, right? With your no fear, with your acknowledgement of what it is and your ability to transform. That's what that's how you transform it. So the orgone technology gives you the ability to get there, to get to that point where you're seeing it. Okay, this is what's happening. This is what I need to do. And it also helps eliminate that fear because change is very fearful. When we don't know what it is or what it looks like on the other side, we get scared. But the thing about it is, you know, because it's comfortable, the toxicity is comfortable because we know it, you know, so we get comfortable with that. And we're being asked to step into a place that we never have. And that place where we never have is knowing that we are that first. We are the ones. We are the
Mm-hmm.
Nia. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when you wake up to that knowing, you're gonna get tested to see are you really that, or are you still faking it, right? And so, and this is where you were talking about that 12 before you get to that 13,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that 12, it's like, okay, you're confident, right? And you're, yeah, okay, I'm good. I believe it. I honestly know it. But then when that 13 comes, that's when everything gets taken away and you're like, "Oh, do you know it?" Now make it appear. And you're making it appear by your thought process, by what it is that you're believing within yourself. So you see that I added a little something to my regalia. This is
Yes.
copper. Okay. And so this is actually a copper that came from the UK, Master Melchizedek. He does amazing things. But the end of the day, it is copper. So you can go to the comment made me think about that. You can go to your local Home Depot, whatever, get yourself a round of copper and you hold that copper in your hands
Talk,
and you
March.
give that copper what you
Yes.
want it to do, right?
Hmm.
And then you wear it, right? And then enough said, it's doing what it automatically does. You don't have to put your mind to it. You don't have to be worried about the comment. Because guess what? If a comment comes and squashes everybody, we all gonna be squashed somewhere and we all be in our new worlds because the soul is eternal and forever.
Yes,
So it
yes.
is important to recognize that you always have the power. Even this copper, this is inside of me. You know, a lot of people want to act like, oh, I don't need no tools because it's inside me. Okay, yeah, we got that part. However, we are working in a technological age where things are being shooted at us constantly. Why? Because they want us to not remember. They don't want you to know who you are. So that's why they're throwing Cardis and whoever else is out there and the Trumps and the all of that shit is shit, right? Where are you? Where are you in your world? And I have to share this because I, Minister Reverend Dr. Latanya, didn't know this either. What's happening in my world is everything is shifting, right? And so this is why I had the opportunity, I had to release things that were in my world that I've been mourning for the last 2 days. Mourning means you wake up and then it's this tears and this emotion that's coming and this question that's saying, who are you? Or are you who you say you are? And you constantly have to
Ooh.
transform all of it and say, I am. Yes, I am. Right. And so when everything looks dark, I ain't afraid of no darkness. I'm from the womb. I was created in darkness. So I know that this darkness that is stepping in right now is for my clarity. And so I'm
Mm,
excited about it. I ain't scared. Look at what
mm.
has been created here through thought. I have not worked a corporate job since I left. The last movie I worked on was Waist Deep with, I think it was Tyrese Gibson, somebody else. That was the last one. And the reason I had to leave is something I have to bring up is very important. I have a son. He's 32 years old, and he was labeled with autism, bipolar schizophrenia, right? We do not believe in medications that come from, outside. And so the Orgone technology is the one thing that he was responding to. I'm not saying this is the solution for everyone in the way that it worked for me. It is absolutely a solution. You should have it at home. But no, it's not a thing that you're going to give your child Orgone technology and all of a sudden they're going to be quote unquote normal because they are who they are. And so what happens with this technology and people that have this label of autism, they start to be able to find themselves through all of that noise. That's why they made that shit a puzzle. They knew what they were doing. We're not going to get deeply into that.
Mm.
However, this technology assists for the mind to start clearing and find its own way in its natural way. So I can't tell you that what worked for Lucas or how Lucas did it is going to work. I'm simply stating I have an autistic adult now, and I worked with him for 13 years with his Orgone, all of the things that came with that, right? With the label of autism. My son was echolalic. He was not speaking complete conversations. And through the use of herbs and Orgone, I am able to have a conversation with my son that's logical. I am able to talk to him about the things that go on in his mind that I may not be able to relate to, but he's able to speak it to me, and he knows who he is. He's in a program now where they ask him all the time, do you want to go work as a he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm an infinite minister. This is what I do. He takes Orgone. You could see him on any given day outside like this, taking all of them chemtrails and all of that stuff that they be sending out to us. He transforms it. And there's other people like this. And you don't have to make this and sell it for it to make a difference.
Come
You
on
create
now.
it and it's done.
Mm.
Abracadabra, ache. And it's
I
not only going to work for you, it's going to work for your entire community.
Woo. Do you all feel this energy? Those of you who have been on from the beginning, can you feel this energy or just where you are? Like she sent energy to those of us who are on this live. Do you recognize that she sent you energy? So it doesn't even matter. The crystals don't need to know the details. Sometimes we need for somebody to hear our story. Sometimes we want to talk about the pain for far too much. But do you know that she can't? This was not even planned. I wasn't even sure that I was going to be able to be on today. My best friend, my sister, is in between worlds right now, trying to decide if she's going to return to us. My uncle, my big, tall, 6'5", 6'4" uncle, was functioning and all of a sudden he's not. I have an aunt that's in the hospital right now. I have another aunt, same, a different side, that is declining. All happening in this short window. I didn't know I was going to be able to do this today. Not because of my capacity, because God is expanding my capacity. I'm not religious, talking religiously. I'm talking about this 13 power. I'm talking about the divine mother. I'm talking about to whom much is given, much is required. I'm talking about that my territory is expanding to be the light into the darkness. I'm talking about to be a cultural custodian, to hold space for my family in ways that they may not even know by using things like Orgone Energy. Now, I know that all of you could put in the comments something that you are going through, that you're experiencing right now. But you are the shift. And I'm here today to call you to shift talk, not just to be entertained, but to show up and be the shift. And if you are feeling this, put this in the comments. Holy shift. Holy shift. Call on your own holiness to be the shift, to be the shift in your bloodline. Stop being on the fence about showing up in your sacred assignment because you're worried about the bills. Your God is so small that you are worried about the bills and the mortgage and what your boss is going to say. And you don't wear your alekes. You don't want anybody to know that you are going to do some hoodoo. This is Hoodoo Heritage Month. You don't want anybody to know that you're called to be the medicine woman and the medicine man. You're hiding the God force in you, and it's time. It's time to come off of the fence. Stop pretending like you don't know what you do know. And if you don't know what you don't know, say that. I didn't know this. Oh, I didn't know about this. Can you tell me more? So this is the energy. If you can feel it today, that's the energy that we're coming in on today.
Ache, ache. Could I talk about death?
Please.
It's very important that we know that it's not what we think it is.
It's not.
The energies that are being prepared for their next mission are being prepared, and they need to be in love, right? I know that it is challenging when we have somebody that's transitioning, or that they're in that door. Or I think that it is so important that we all know that love is what makes what's supposed to happen happen. And so when we give energy to these energies, it's so important that we take our our feelings and we transform these feelings, because I know that it's going to be sad if somebody is even ill. This is not even about them being in that space of transformation, but everything is a transformation, especially when you're in that space, right? And so if we can learn to, when we give energy to these beings, give them this love energy, and this energy that's going to give them what they need, as opposed to our grief. It is
Ashe.
that our grief does not go and does not transmute to the people. This is not a time to be selfish and be sad about what's going to happen when so is not here anymore. This is a time of giving our ache to this force that is in on the door. They're making decisions that we're not having to make at this time. So right now, what is important, ache, what is important that this energy is given to those souls that are transforming and doing what they need to do. We need to give them that love and that support, that it be what it's supposed to be, and that we are supportive in every level, not just in the physical, our mental, our mental that we're giving right now. This that's happening right now, ache, this is happening for those beings, because I did not expect you to be here today. I did not. And I've been praying and I've been sending energy to you and your family since I heard about it. And so that's how come I know it's like, oh, okay, so we're in celebration. I don't, this is a private space. I don't open the space to people like that. Reverend Latanya knows. You know what I'm saying? But it had to be so that the energy that's happening here could be connected to you there, and so that we can give it to the energy that is necessary to have it right now, right now.
And I ended a while, the whole while that you were talking, just like you have your private space. And I did this on Sunday, and I do it all the time in our private space, but I just kept hearing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah, hallelujah. I speak Rashida's name in this energy. Hallelujah,
Rashida.
hallelujah, hallelujah. Rashida, I love you.
Rashida.
I love you.
I love you, Rashida.
I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you, Rashida.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Ache.
Whew.
I just want to ache. For those that are listening, I want you to know that her voice is being transferred and transmuted and sent to the beings that need to hear it. Ache, her voice was amplified through the work of this organ technology and will continue to sound and will continue to ring. Ache.
And I also speak the name of of her sister who is by her side, um, Sharice Carter,
Teresa,
into this space.
Ache,
Ashe, Ashe.
Teresa Carter. Ache.
Yes, yes. So what a divine setup to be able to be vulnerable with my sister, because I know that I'm covered. I know my community is covering me. I know we've been praying together. We've been standing together. We stand with each other. Again, my there is a sister in our community who I do need to acknowledge is Michelle Reese, who I just learned lost her son, I believe, to some gun violence or some type of violence. And so we send love to Michelle Reese in this energy. Michelle, hallelujah. Yeah, hallelujah anyhow.
And what is the name of her?
Hallelujah. 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 So we send this to Michelle and her family as well, and all of the emotions that she's feeling. And I believe that they are even looking for his assailants. And so this is a time for us to cover down, to
Can
care
we
for
speak
each
his
other.
name? Can we say his name?
I don't know his name. Michelle, if you're watching, can you drop the name of your son? in this space. And if someone knows the name of Michelle's son, please drop his name into the space as well. So, and anyone else, if there's someone you're holding space for, can you drop their name? If you're holding space, if you're holding the high watch for a loved one, if that, please drop their name into the space so we can speak their name. This is not just for me or about one person. This energy is something that we send out to you as mother, and as to mother, to stand in your mothership. Johnny McCoy, we speak Johnny McCoy's name into this sacred space to be lifted. Anyone else there are people who are Gen Xers with family who are standing in caretaker. Yes, Dominique Janot. Yes, Holy Shift. That's right. Holy Shift, Tamala. You got it. You get it. You get it. Daddy Sai. We speak it. We speak your name, Daddy Sai. Yes, Christopher Porlewis. We speak your name into this space of this Orgone energy. Carol Lynn Johnson, Johnson as well. So let me put these names up as well. Yes, this is what we do, y'all. This is what it looks like to become the priestess of your own household. This is what success look like, redefining success. This is success right here. To elevate beyond our own grief. Mari dropped bars. Don't make your grief, don't make it about your grief when someone is transitioning or transition. What if they came and they've already fulfilled their sacred assignment? And your grief is holding the energy of the person that is ready to take on their wings. In New Orleans, we have a second line, baby. In New Orleans, we don't do that. We dance in the street. And we lift up the body. And behind, that's the first line. The first line is the body. The second line is the party. That's saying we celebrate you, we lighten our energy, and we get our handkerchiefs out and we sing with the behind the brass band, and we're dancing with the band. And so I know that there's a second line energy that's brewing right now on the atmosphere, because once the revelation about the things that we thought was one way comes out, there will be a second line energy in the spirit of the people. This shift of Aquarius, of a Pluto being in an Aquarius, is power to the people. And so power is returning to the people, even though the people feel powerless. So I want you to close this out with anything that spirit is placing on your heart, and how you want people to get in touch with you. If you want us to filter that, that's fine as well. But please.
I am so grateful. I am so for this moment. I am so grateful for this time. I'm grateful for every single person that is here, that has listened, that has given their energy. The powerful thing about Orgone and this technology is that your magnificent energy has been lifted, it has been transformed, and it's been transferred to me so that I can have it and I can continue to heal myself and heal you too with this energy, because I'll never forget this day. I know how important it is. I understand, comprehend, overstand what is happening right now. We were brought here today, specifically, today is October 1st. It's the beginning. It's a very important day, October 1st, that they have not talked to us about. And just research October 1st, okay? I'll say that. And all the way up to October 31st, the people that are transforming, people that are leaving, it's like there are allies for what's coming. There is so much coming. There is so much coming. And it is all dependent upon your mind. You can experience heaven or you can experience hell. What's it going to be for you? This is that time. So thank you so much. If you want to get in contact with me, my direct number is 818 233 5776. I smile because I've had this number for forever. I give it out all the time. Only the ones that are supposed to use it. So I happily give it, comfortably give it. 818-233-5776. Text first, please, and make sure that I know where you came from, that you came from Dr. Reverend Latanya. Um,
Now this is on YouTube. Are you okay with that?
yeah, my phone number is actually the number to the Ministry of Master Generation 13. This
Mm-hmm.
has been available to all who need it and all who seek it. And I promise you, no one has ever abused it. I haven't gotten a flood full of numbers. You understand? Because see, this is divine. And so I don't have to be afraid of nothing. Whoever's supposed to
Ashe.
come through comes through. One
Ashe.
818-233-5776. That is the best way. It's directly to me. And if we're supposed to meet, we will. I do have the way that I work with people. The minimum contribution for any of my work is $99. The minimum contribution for any of my work, $99. It goes up according to whatever, but that's what it is. And it supports the layer, it supports me. If you would like to send a contribution, my Cash App is $SEG13 love. $SEG13 love. And if you want to zell it, that number 818-233-5776 goes directly to Infinionaire Ministries. I've been doing this work for a long time and I ain't gonna stop. So if you want some, come get some. Thank
Yes.
you so much,
Thank you so
Dr.
much for joining us and for being here. And it just has been so yummy, so organic, so mama filled. Mama was all over this thing. She kept on sending signals with that 13 showing up at different points in this live, in this broadcast. I love you, Mari, and there's nothing you can do about it. You look amazing. Yes. And so
Look, 55, which means one. I'm going back to the beginning, baby.
I know that's right. Yes, yes, yes. Now, you know what? I was about to close out, but I forgot to have that other people are here. I got so enthralled. Do you all have any questions for Mari? Do you have any questions for Mari? Drop them in the comments now, but and then we'll close. We'll go right out. We'll go out. Please drop them. Don't send the questions right away to the text. Put them in here because you may be paying it forward for somebody else who has a question. Anybody have a question about Orgone Energy, how you can use it? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Yes. Ashe.
I used to be a Playboy master breaker in Puerto Rico.
Yes. Come on now. Anyone, any questions about Orgone Energy? Can you use these on, do you use these on your pets?
Yes, I had a cat that had babies. So when she was, I would put Oregon pieces on her belly, and she would just let me. And yeah, no, absolutely on the pets. I have another pet that was going through some things, and I gave the lady a little diamond ship, and said it helped her cat tremendously. So absolutely, animals love it. They love it.
Okay, until you all ask a question. Have you done anything with the pie symbol? Spirit keeps giving Smokey and I this pie symbol for us.
Like just a triangle pie, or
No, no, you know the pi symbol, the actual mathematical equation of pi.
oh, I think I haven't because I would have known. I have.
Okay, I'll show you. I'll send you something in private, message you
Okay.
something.
But
Yes.
like it sounds to me like you need to create something with that simple.
Listen, the only reason I am in love with, I got in when I started working with Organite. um I thought about you the whole time, of course, and I just was in a zone.
Mhm,
The teacher was teaching, but I didn't even hear him. I was grabbing my crystals, programming and telling it what I wanted it to do. The
mhm.
only thing that I have to we could talk about this offline, is I have to work or be careful with my lungs and asthma and all of that with the smell. So I would have to either be outside or in my garage or a well ventilated area.
Well, I will tell you a little secret about my Orgone technology. I have a season. I never the 22nd was my last day of making anything because I use the sun. I don't do it inside. I recommend if you do it inside, you need not just a regular mask, you need a gas mask that's going to give you good energy because that is strong and it's going in your body and it is not good for your body. So
Mm.
outside is what I recommend always. I don't recommend garages, apartments inside. I just don't recommend it. Not saying that it can't be done, and I know that some people, you do what you can, and I respect that. But if in perfect situations, always outside for Orgone. Orgone Energy batteries always outside.
Ashe, 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 ashe. Thank you so much. And it looks like you have people who are just, they are not dumbfounded, confounded that they don't have any questions. So that means that you have folks really thinking, and I appreciate that. And we have to have you back, and definitely we have to have you in person. So those who are in the I am her, you hold your horses because we're going to get her in the room. So we love you, Mari. There's nothing you can do about it. Hold on. I'm going to end the stream, but don't go anywhere. All right, you all. I love you. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you join us tonight at 8 o'clock for the final day of Be the Shift, and that you can get the free Shift Everything ebook also on my website. So go to the link below here to get the free Shift Everything. Everybody who has downloaded the free ebook is going to get a special invitation to the 21-day Shift Everything process, plus some other bonuses around the archetypes that you get to work with. So make sure that you join us tonight to Be the Shift. And the process is timeless. If you're just hearing about it, you can start at day one and binge watch like you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, binge watch, but do something good for yourself and get you a journal and answer these sacred prompts. If you are looking for a reading, please book your reading for a blueprint reading or get your frequency healing. Now, once Mari and I start working together with the frequency healing that I have, plus the frequency energy that she's working with, baby, you can't be depressed. You can't be in lack consciousness. You can only shift energy. So, again, we are signing off. Transmission over.